Welcome to the vlog. I don't know why I'm in such a good mood, but I think it's because we're going to the library. Welcome to this week's vlog. I don't really know what this week's gonna be. Maybe just like a bookish week in my life. I was kind of hoping to do like a day where we go to the library, go book shopping, do the journal, do all that fun stuff in a day. But then I realized that wasn't really gonna happen. So we're turning it into a week. So welcome. We are off to the library. I have 4 books to give back, 2 of which are my mum's. Let me grab them really quick and then chit chat about them, and then we can go. Oh, I guess I can tell you what we're gonna do in this video. We're gonna go into town, which means library, the bookshop. Am I gonna get anything from the bookstore? Most likely not, but we'll still have a look in case something tickles my fancy. I don't know why, but I feel like I go into the bookshop and I'm like, I want to spend all my money on books, but I feel like I have to be selective because I can't spend all my money on books, and I end up seeing a book and I'm like, but do I really need it? Like, do I want to spend the money that I'm comfortable spending on books at the minute on you? And then I don't get the book because then I feel like, what if another book comes up and I should have you know? Bookstore, then I need to do my TBR jar. I need to redo that because I meant to do that for last month and then I didn't, and then I filmed my TBR video and I went, oh, this isn't complete. So I need to do that. So I need to get all the prompts together for that and write them down on a piece of paper. And then I also need to do my reading journal because I haven't done my reading journal this year, really. I don't think I have any monthly spreads, and I'm potentially going to have to rethink how I want to do that because in my head I'm like, maybe I should just do it in quarters. I need to write that down, otherwise I'm gonna forget that this is an idea that I had. I wish that like mentally I just had a notebook on me at all times. That's a conversation for another time because we're in end of April and I haven't made a single month spread. I think potentially January, and that's about it. And that's clearly not the point of the journal. So we'll get to talking more about the journal when we do it in the next few days. Then ideally I would also love, let me show you, the way that my book shelves, I have 2 shelves and then books kind of thrown around my room, but my 2 shelves have kind of unintentionally become the romance and fiction section, contemporary fiction, fun covers. And then on this bookshelf, it's my fantasy shelf. And it's a lot darker, moodier, it's fantasy. I never film in front of that one because it just looks really boring. You don't really see the shelf, there's nothing on my wall, and I usually have art and stuff, and for some reason I don't have art and drawings and sketches and stuff. So I kind of want to do that, but I also kind of want to be fun. Like, you can see the dangly stars that I made. I want to make more, put them there, maybe some moons, maybe some other fun stuff. I don't know, just get crafty and make it look cute because I never film there and I never really sit there either because it's just not very cute. So we're gonna fix the little fantasy section. That was very unintentional when I was decorating my room. I do things based off visuals and then group authors together. I don't, it's not a rainbow shelf. It's not really based on, I guess it's based on color, but it's also based on vibes. But anyways, that's kind of what we're going to be doing this week. Hopefully. I have to go to the library, do my TBR jar and my journal. Those are top 3. And then anything else, book, like buying a book. What else? Oh, and doing little decorating that aren't a must. Just a fun thing. So anyways, I'm gonna go take my dog. Oh, should we maybe talk about what book I'm in the middle of? Technically, I'm still in the middle, if you watched my last vlog, of Gloves Off because Storytel removed it from the app. So I have not been able to finish that yet. Gonna have to download it on my Kindle and read it on there to finish it, but I have no idea where I was. I guess I can visually tell on the timeline of like the audiobook how far along I was, but in the book, no idea. So that's gonna be fun to figure out. So technically I'm in the middle of Gloves Off, but the book that I am really in the middle of is Zodiac Academy Fated Throne, which is book 6. I can't even talk about that book right now. I'm like 80% in. If you know, you know, but I am not having fun in the best way possible. the character's having a horrific time, but it's a good book. So anyways, those are the 2 books that I'm technically in the middle of. We'll see what else I pick up. We'll see what's at the library. I'm not banking on having anything good at the library. I'm not gonna lie, the last few times that I've been, I haven't been the best. Sometimes I go there and then there's a bunch of new releases and I'm like the first one to pick up a book and I'm like, wow, what is my luck? The last few times hasn't been the best, but we shall see what there is. And at the very least, I can give back the books I need to give back and somebody else can enjoy them. So let's go take my dog out for a quick walk and then we'll head into town. I was in the middle of packing my bags and then I realised that I never showed you the books that I need to return. So we have these 4 books that we need to return today. 2 that are mine are The Book of Blood and Roses, which I read in my recent reading blog. What was the challenge in this reading blog? Oh, I think this was just when I deleted TikTok and then I wanted to read a bunch of books. So this is one of those books. And then I also read The Poet Empress. I did end up finishing it on my Kindle just because I found it easy to log into this book by the end of it, but beautiful book, beautiful cover, and the floppiness is just everything. So really glad that I picked this one up. Then the 2 books which are my mum's, which honestly I would read as well, are This Story Might Save Your Life and Strangers. I believe Strangers is a memoir about a lady's marriage. Don't know much else about it. And then I believe This Story Might Save Your Life is a mystery of some sort. 2 good books based off of what my mum said. So these are the 2 that we need to give back. I do also still have Gleam checked out from the library, which is book 3 in the Plated Prisoner series, which I am reading for Emily, who I started this series when I was in Austria with her, and book 2 ended up on quite a good cliffhanger, so I am intrigued, but I think just the size of this is a little bit daunting. The reason why I'm like, okay, I should read it is just because I flew through this first 2 books and I feel like I'm like, okay, if I can fly through the first 2 books, then this slightly more daunting book is okay. The question now is, do I get a matcha while I'm out, or do I save my money?
That girl is a runner, she was born to get away. Hear that two-tone humming, headed out to the highway. I should have seen it coming through the years left in the dust, but after all the lessons learned, it would end the both of us. There's a first for everything, like a hand holding mine. Now I'm left here with the pain from her I love you goodbye. And though it hurts to watch my whole world become the woman she would be, the thing that I forgot would set her free. I taught her how to leave.
I'm back. I got 2 that's the wrong way around. 2 library books. Malibu Rising, because I really want to read Carrie Sotomayor's back, because I've heard that that's better than this one, and I need to make my way to that. I know that technically you don't have to read it, but also technically this is in order. So I got this one. And then I also got God of the Woods. I've been meaning to read this for a while, and I do have the audiobook for it, so that'll be nice, because this seems to be quite a long story, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I don't like this cover as much as the green one, but that's okay. I did pop into the bookshop, but I didn't find anything. Well, I found lots of things, but I just didn't spend money on anything. Everything was so expensive. A new release paperback these days is 22 euros. 22 euros. I am planning on going to the UK this summer, and books are just notoriously cheaper there, so I'm just kind of like, in my head I'm like, I could just get this one in England. So that's why I didn't buy any books, because 22 euros for a new release paperback is a bit insane. Just a bit. But then I also popped into a vintage shop, which I've been meaning to go into, and they had such cute stuff, but none of it fit. They had the cutest jeans, and they didn't fit right. They were way too big, so that sucks. Then I also got a matcha, which was nice. It was an Earl Grey matcha, and that combination is so yummy. But anyways, my mum and I are gonna go for a walk. We've been doing basically daily walks now, where we both just chuck on an audiobook and walk for like an hour and a bit. And it's been really nice, and it's sunny, so I'm gonna throw some shorts on, and I think Storytel it removed Stephanie Archer books, and now it's also removing, I don't know why Stephanie Archer books were removed, but the Zodiac Academy books, the normal audiobooks, are slowly being removed and replaced with dramatized versions, which I don't understand. Like, give me the option to have both, but for some reason that's just what's happening. And so I was like, I have like around an hour left of Zodiac Academy, and today's the day that it got removed. So that's annoying, but I did kind of want to lock in for the last however much percent, because that's kind of a series where you need to lock in by the end, otherwise you don't know what's going to happen. And things usually go down in the last 10%, so unfortunately not letting me to listen to that. But like I said, I do have The God of the Woods on audio, so I think I'll start that on audio, see how far we get in, and I think that'll be a good one to listen to on audio. But yeah, I don't know, like, why would you not keep both options? Like, I don't always want to listen to the dramatized version. So I've knocked 2 things off of the list: library, book shopping, even though we didn't get any books. But anyways, I will see you when we're back from the walk.
Like yesterday, when she was looking out that window on the bus to 2nd grade. The first step she'd ever take, the first cut from a heartbreak.
I've lost my Kindle. I genuinely don't know where it's gone. It's not in my bag, it's not on my bed, it's not on the couch, it's not on the dining table, it's not on my desk. I have like 30 pages left. How does one even lose a Kindle in your own house? Guess who found her Kindle? I did. If you guessed it was under my pillow this entire time, you guessed correctly. Anyways, now that we have this, I'm going to read the last 15. I have 15 pages left of this book. So I'm going to do that now. I have my peppermint tea. I have my book. What a perfect evening. Now I did, because I couldn't find my Kindle all day, I did start God of the Woods. I think I'm about 58 pages in, so I think we'll chat about that tomorrow, because I'm itching to finish my book, not gonna lie.
Been through it all, but now it's time to go our separate ways. There's a first for everything, like a hand holding mine. Now I'm left here with the pain from her I love you goodbye.
Hi guys, voice over me here, because I initially had a really fun setup where you could also see me with like 2 different perspectives, and basically I couldn't get the footage of me onto my laptop, so we're just gonna have to deal with just this perspective. It also didn't really go as planned. I had my phone recording this clip that you're seeing here, and that's what my Fable app was on, so I didn't have any of the Fable data that I needed for like pages read per month and things like that. So a few of the spreads we didn't get around to doing this month. We only just really filled out the ones that we could. If you can hear my dog, he is currently sat behind me, so I apologize about that. But we first start, once we finally get to it, with all the series that I'm in the middle of. And I feel like there's a lot more that I'm in the middle of. I just scrolled through my Goodreads to see what I had logged recently, and then I just added the ones that, you know, I'm in the middle of. But yeah, for some reason it looks really small, and I don't know why that is. It feels a lot more daunting than it is. And whilst I'm just doing this, I also just want to quickly talk about, I guess, the TBR tracker situation. The goal when I made this journal was to do a spread for every single month with a TBR and a wrap up, and then like a little stats section. But considering that it is currently May when I'm filming this voiceover, and I haven't got a single monthly spread in this journal, I don't think that was it was too ambitious for me and my lack of remembering that I have to do certain things, because the month would come around and I would just forget about this journal because it was just tucked away on my desk. So I think also because I'm going to be switching to quarterly TBRs, so not every month, so every like season, I guess. So like a spring season is the one that I'd be in now. I think it would make more sense to then have do the monthly spreads every quarter. So still have one for each month, so then I can have my wrap up of each month, but then it'll just be spring TBR, and then it'll go into January, February, March, and then the wrap up. Am I making any sense? So make the spreads every quarter, so then I do 3 in one go rather than having to try to remember to do one every month, because like I said, it just kind of gets, I don't remember to do it. So I think that's probably a bit more of a sustainable system, and I'm definitely going to do a reading journal video at some point where I catch up, because like I said, I have 0 monthly spreads, and that's a little bit sad because the whole point of this journal was to work on this monthly. There were some trackers in here that I honestly don't like anymore and don't really know what my vision was on how to use them. We'll get to one in a second where I was like filling in grids and it just did not look good. Here, this one. Like what was my vision here? It just looks bulky and not very good. So unfortunately this one just didn't make much sense, but that's okay, because I guess next year I'll just have to think of a better way of doing this one. But yeah, like that just looks silly. Like what good does this do? And I think that I definitely need a bigger section for the romance and the fantasy/romantasy section, because what do you mean I've already taken up half and it's not even been 6 months? So definitely need to rework this one for next year, but that's okay. I do promise that I have prettier, like this one is such a nice spread. I really like this spread, but like I said, my Fable, as a car going past, my Fable was on the phone that I was recording this for, so couldn't really do anything in this clip. And here we have another really cute page, which I can't fill, and so many pages that are so undone. I feel so bad for myself because I put in so much effort. Like this page, I love this page as well, so I just kind of take them, even though now that I'm thinking about it, I think it probably would be better to somehow put the rating as well that I gave all these books, but some of them are too close together, like the Unearthly and the Serpent and the Wings of Night books. Like where am I going to put the ratings neatly? So I also didn't really think this one through, but it looks pretty, so that's okay. And then this was just one that I was too overwhelmed to do, I'm not gonna lie. And this is my very, very beautiful new release page, which has like 4 books. And then this is probably my favorite spread, which I use the most, I would have to say, because I do tend to update this one, and I really like the look of it. I love the stickers, I love the little like mini book aspect of it. So I just added a few. I think like My Friends was on there, Unearthly was on there. Yeah, I don't know, I can't really see, it's a bit blurry from where I'm recording this. All of the stickers in washi tape are from the Cookie Monsters Co. I will link them down below because I think they are so cute. Okay, and this is my arc tracker. I don't know why there's no title, but I did add, I think, Aicha and Turncloak to this page. I have yet to read Turncloak. Loved all of the books that I've received as arcs this year so far, which is really good, and I cannot wait for these all to be released. Aicha's already released. I think the only book that is on here that hasn't been released yet are To Dance with Death and Turncloak. Haven't read Turncloak yet, but To Dance with Death was so good. If you watched my last reading vlog where I watched that, the one where I deleted TikTok and then had a bunch of time to read, that was such a good book. I cannot wait for that to come out, and for people who loved the first book to fall in love with the characters all over again. I genuinely cannot wait. Do you guys hear that? I hope you do, otherwise I look a little bit silly, but it's raining. So, perfect time to work on this. There are about, I don't know, 7-8 prompts in here, because I used to have, I hope you can hear me over the rain because it is kind of loud, because it used to be books on my physical TBR were in like a green paper, and then these were prompts. I just want to do prompts now, so I'm just going to fill these up with a bunch of prompts. I'll think of them, maybe Google some, I don't know, but that's just what we're going to do. So let's just do that. I have this stack of paper, which I thought when I purchased it was post-it notes, but it's just colored paper. It's perfect for this, not perfect for when I needed post-it notes. Okay, the rain has died down, so I think I can talk a little bit. I have added a fair few amount of prompts. Maybe I should have said what I was putting in here when I wrote them down, but I didn't for some reason. But then you're just gonna have to watch the TBR videos when they come out. So, sorry about that. We've now completed going to the library, going to the bookstore, didn't know which word I was gonna use there. We did the journal. Didn't really come out how I wanted it to come out, but we did the journal nonetheless, and the TBR prompts. So now we've completed what I set out to do. I never talked about the book. I finished God of the Woods. I flew through this book, but it also felt like a really long book. I think it helped that I had it on audio, and then my mum and I would be out and about doing our walks for a while, so I could actually get through the books. It was a very captivating story. I love how, I guess because it was more mystery than thriller for me. Yes, it was a little scary when my mum and I were walking through the woods and I was listening to about a story about a bunch of kids getting lost in the woods, but I thought it was a lot more mystery-esque than thriller, and I haven't really read a book that's more mystery than it is thriller in a while. So the way that like the pieces were falling together were a lot more satisfying than a thriller, which I feel like is just intense, aha, story's over. Whereas with this, it was like things were falling into place and all the different timelines were adding up slowly, and then as the investigator was learning stuff, obviously you were learning stuff as well, and it made sense and it just felt a lot more satisfying. I do know that people weren't too happy with the ending. I think that's what I found out when I rated this, when I saw other reviews like on Goodreads and such. It seems like people weren't too happy with the ending. I didn't mind the ending. I didn't really know where the book was going to go, so I didn't really have an expectation for an ending, so I didn't really mind it. But yeah, I just felt like it took a very long time to get to where we needed to go. There were so many, at the beginning it was really hard, especially only listening to it on audio, to know what was going on because there was so many characters. You do understand it, like it does reach a point where you're like, oh, okay, this person is this person, we're now in this timeline, and this is what's happening in this timeline. Because it's almost like two parallel timelines are happening, which is really interesting but really hard to keep track of at the beginning. And it did feel like we kind of meandered our way through the book. It was a very long book, longer than your standard mystery thriller book, I would say, so that's why it's not a 5-star, but I thought that this was really good and really well done, and I loved the way that the puzzle pieces fit together. It was a lot more of a satisfying book than like a thriller tends to be. So, really fun book. And then I also finished Gloves Off in this vlog, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. I love that book so much. 4.75 stars, favorite book in the series. Highly recommend. I recommend that you read all of the other books until you get to this one. Technically, it's an interconnected standalone, but I do think that the cameos and stuff from all of the other couples are almost necessary to, they're not necessary, but like to get that feeling of found family or just friendship in the series. I highly recommend reading them in order. I love A Marriage of Convenience, I really do. And then especially when it's in like a sports setting, that's why I really liked The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. Very different vibes, but similar in that sense. And the female character is strong, I love her. The male main character is also strong, but they like balance each other out, so I really, really like that. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Did I finish the Zodiac? Because it wasn't a reading focused video, it was like an everything but reading focused video. I feel like I don't remember what happened and what I finished reading, but I did finish Zodiac Academy as well. I'm actually nearly 20% through the 7th book. This series just has a chokehold on me. I feel like I say this every time, but I feel like I've been reading the series for a really long time and I'm just ready to like lock in and finish the books, which is my plan. These poor characters can't catch a break. Like, every single ending of a book, you're just sat there like, how did we get here? How do we move forwards? I just want to give you all a hug. So, but we did wrap up some things, or like fix some things that were so annoying in the last book, like just plot-wise, like, and luckily we moved past those hurdles now and we have different issues to solve, so that's been fun. And yeah, like I said, I'm 20% into the next book and I will be finishing this series in the next few vlogs probably. It's going to take me a while because they're big books. I can't wait to finish the series. I did say that we were going to do like my fantasy book area, so like this area. It's not going to happen this video just because I don't know what I want to do with it, so might just do like a rearranging my books, decorating my shelves type video soon once I know what I want to do with this. But for now, I'm just gonna have to not film in this area, even though I'd love to because I love my fantasy books. But it's just also kind of an inconvenient area to film because I have like my monitor here and everything. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you soon. Hopefully another reading vlog at some point.